So now this is where most of the people are confused which version that they need to purchase, which license that they need to purchase. They have different editions. So based on the requirement, they are going to choose a specific tool which satisfies their requirement, and they can choose of their own choice. So some people want only Crystal Report, they don't want webi. So why do they need to invest unnecessarily on other reporting tools if they sell it as a package? So that's how the SAP entered into the small scale industries, and now they are concentrating on small scale industries as well. So this is about the history of business objects and SAP and what's happening in the market. Yes, good to know about that, because based on that we come to know what's going to be the future. So now coming to business objects. Business objects consist of different reporting tools like webi, we call it as web intelligence, and desktop. There is no more desktop, they removed it in 4.0. So desktop intelligence, universe designer, Excelsius, crystal reports. So these are all the tools that we have in business objects, and each tool is for their own purpose. And coming to, so actual business objects reporting tools are web intelligence and desktop intelligence. Then where did this crystal report and Excelsius came from? So these two are from Seagate crystal reports. Have you heard of Seagate crystal reports? The old version. So these crystal reports are developed from or originated from Seagate. They acquired Seagate. That's why now business objects consist of crystal reports and Excelsius. Now again, business objects have been acquired by SAP. So due to a lot of these acquisitions, due to a lot of these tools, there are a lot of confusions why we have these many reporting tools. So slowly what they are doing is they are going to merge all the multiple options that you have in different reporting tools into a single report. And yes, in future we are going to get only one reporting tool. They have already removed one, desktop intelligence, and we have only webi. And maybe in future, so they can improve on crystal, because the architecture of crystal is completely different, which is same as SSRS, but web intelligence is based on OLAP. So business objects, web intelligence is an OLAP reporting tool. So let's look into the server, business object server, how it looks like. So I've logged into a business object server machine where I have installed business objects here. And these are all the different tools that you have in your business objects. Now, what is the difference between business objects enterprise and the reporting tools? What we do in our business objects server. Have you heard of SharePoint? Microsoft SharePoint?
Yes.
So what is that?
It's just a link within the intranet. We can share a lot of information across all the teams.
That's true. So it's an intranet, which is we can call it as a browser-based application, wherein we can share different files or different information in an organization with multiple users in that particular organization. So sharing information, that's what it means, which is lying on your host system, and you can share multiple documents through SharePoint. Same way, business object consists of multiple reporting tools. You can develop the reports using Excelsius, crystal reports, web intelligence, and desktop intelligence. But as a developer, we develop it and we store those reports on our machine. But how you are going to distribute those reports to your clients? For that, you have a centralized server, we call it as Business Objects Enterprise. It's the place where we publish all these reports into it, and using a browser, client can log in and view the report. So that is Business Objects Enterprise. So let's see how the interface looks like and how you can view the reports that are there in your Business Objects server. So I'm going to start button, and here you have one URL, which is Business Objects Enterprise Job Info View. If you click on this, it's going to open in a browser to log into your Business Objects server. You need to provide user ID and password and click on log on. Once you log in, you will be able to see the document list, which is like, and you can navigate through multiple folders and you can see all the reports that are saved in a specific folder. So these are all webi reports. And again you have another. So these are all crystal reports. So this is a browser. What you just need to have is you need to have an access to this URL. Run this from your machine through browser, and as a gateway you need to provide user ID and password to log into your Business Object server, same as SharePoint. And then navigate through folder and you can view any report that you want. By double clicking on a specific report, you will be able to see the output of that report through browser. So Business Objects Enterprise is nothing but a centralized server which consists of all the reporting tools. In order to develop crystal reports, you need to have crystal reports installed in your developer machine, and developer is the one who is going to develop those reports. Once they develop all those reports, then move those reports to your Business Objects Enterprise by publishing them into this server, where you will be able to share these reports to your clients. So not only using an info view URL, you have an integration with SharePoint as well. So you can place some URL in your SharePoint, and if you click on that URL, it's going to open a report from your Business Objects server. Like that, you can integrate Business Objects application with third-party applications like SharePoint, .NET, and Java. So in any website, once you are done with your registration or once you are done with booking your ticket, if you click on print, it's going to open a print preview. It might be in a PDF format where you can print the output of your ticket format. So once you click on print, it's going to hit and invoke one of the reports in your Business Objects server. And now the output of your ticket is going to be processed using one of the reporting tools, might be Web Intelligence or Crystal Reports. Then the output will be exported to PDF, and where you can print that output to your printer. So that's how we incorporate multiple applications together. But actual processing will be done from Business Object Server. In order to run a report, you need to have services enabled in your Business Object Server. So that is an overview of Business Object Server, what it does. So Business Object Server is nothing but a centralized server which is going to hold all the different types of PO related reports in multiple folder-like structure, and where you are going to manage by providing user credentials, and also you can restrict some of the report for specific users through Business Object Server. So what we do in Business Object Server is we maintain all the reports and we organize all the reports in a folder-like structure, and we create different users to access these reports, and we provide different access rights on all these reports, so that based on a user who logs in, he'll be able to see only his related reports, not all other. Clear? Any questions?
No questions.
No questions? Okay. Now, if you have not installed Microsoft Office on your machine, can you open an Excel file that I provide you? You cannot, unless you install the software on your machine, right? In the same way, in order to execute Crystal reports or Web Intelligence reports through browser, you have some services running in the background. If those services are not running, you will not be able to run or view the report output through browser in your business objects enterprise. So each and every tool, let's take an example of Oracle database. In order to log in into your Oracle database, you need to have Oracle services running on your machine. If the services are down, you will not be able to log in. In the same way, business objects consists of multiple services related to each and every reporting tool. So all that we can perform in business object server once you publish all the reports. One is viewing the reports on demand, something like what I did. Navigating through a folder, double clicking on a specific report and open the report to see the output. Other than that, you have an option of scheduling. So what does it mean by schedule? Any idea?
At a certain point of time, say for you want like a particular report to be presented to the business users at a particular interval. Say suppose we have a vast organizations which is across overall the country. So some of the financial reports should be available by European time and some other by Asian times. We schedule in that fashion.
Okay. So it's something that we are running the report based on a time interval which is going to run automatically once you set a time.
Yeah.
So as an example, the best example for this is every month we receive credit card statements. So how we receive on a specific particular bill generation date, you are going to get an email with attachment of PDF which is going to show you your credit card statement. So does that mean that for each and every customer, the bankers are generating a report and sending it manually? They have lakhs of customers. They cannot do it manually. What they do is they'll set some time to run the specific report on your billing date. And what they'll do is they'll set the destination to your email address. And they'll make your report to run monthly. So that every month, whatever the purchases or whatever the amount that you have used from your credit card, all that information exists in your backend database. Once you run a report, it's going to get the latest data at that particular instance of time and generate a report, export that format to a PDF, attach that PDF to your email address and send it to your email. All this thing will be done automatically once you schedule it to execute that report monthly once on so and so time. So that is what it means. Schedule is nothing but executing the report automatically. You just set some time, it's going to execute at that time. You need not log in and manually run the report. So this is what we do in our business object server. We create reports, we distribute the reports to our clients so that they can see the output, and the client can view the output on demand in the sense at that particular instance of time, he can refresh a report to see the updated data what they have, or otherwise we can schedule a report for those who doesn't have user ID and password to log into your business object server. Something like you are sending an email to those users so that they can view the report as in their email. So there are multiple users who uses business objects. Some are business users, some are customers, some are developers. So business users have an option of doing analysis by logging into InfoView, but for customers, you're not going to provide any user ID and password to log into InfoView, but wherein you're going to schedule the reports and send it to their email address. So all these jobs are done in our business objects enterprise. Everything related to report output. We deal with data. We don't update anything in our backend database. All the report developers are going to have read-only access on your backend warehouse. You will never be able to update anything on your backend database. So that is about business objects enterprise. And to see what all the services that are running on your server machine, have one tool called Central Configuration Management, CCM, that shows all the servers related to those services which are running or not. See, this is the SIA Server Intelligence Agent, and if I log into this, we'll be able to see what all the services that we have. These are all the servers related to each and every reporting tool that you publish in your business object server. If any server is down, let's take Crystal Report job server is down, you will not be able to schedule Crystal Reports. If Web Intelligence job server is down, you will not be able to schedule Web Intelligence report. So if all the servers are running, then only you will be able to use those services. So let's look into the architecture of business objects, how it works. So this architecture is a 5-layered architecture. So business objects enterprise architecture is a 5-layered architecture. Is client tier. The next layer is application tier, intelligence tier, processing tier, and data tier. So what is this client tier? A client tier is nothing but a gateway between your front-end applications and your back-end server. The only part of your business objects enterprise where each and every user deal with. And you have two types of applications here, browser-based and packaged. Browser-based are nothing but using an URL, you can connect to. Packaged applications are nothing but you need to have an installation on your machine and opening those tools and providing login credentials to connect to your server. As a browser-based, we discussed about InfoView that we have seen as of now. InfoView is one of the browser-based applications using an URL. You can log in into your business objects enterprise and you can view all the content what you have on your server machine. Other than InfoView, you have one more, that is Central Management Console. So what is that CMC? We call it as Central Management Console, which is also a browser-based application, but to this particular application, only business objects administrator has an access, not the developers, not clients. So what do we do using central management console? We manage all the folders, we manage all the users, and we manage all the restrictions. Everything will be managed using central management console. In terms of SAP basis, same as PO admin. So central management console is used by business objects administrators, wherein they create multiple folders, give different access to multiple users, and they can also create different user IDs and passwords that they can generate to access this application. All the server management will be done using central management console. But using InfoView, we'll be able to view all the reports, and for the developers, we'll be able to develop the reports through Info. So that is browser-based application, and then you have packaged application. Under packaged application, we have seen one of the tools, that is Central Configuration Manager, which is used to start the servers. And other than that, we also have Publishing Wizard. So this Publishing Wizard is used for Crystal Reports. As I said, Crystal Reports is a separate reporting tool wherein you can install it on your machine and you can start generating reports on multiple databases. Now, as a developer, you generated around 100 reports. Now, you want to move all those reports to your business object server. So you always have an option in a reporting tool exporting into business object server. But using that option, you can publish reports one by one. But what if you have 100 reports? You cannot open each and every report and publish it back, which takes a lot of time. That's why you have one wizard, which is Publishing Wizard. Using that Publishing Wizard, you can publish more than one report at a time into your business object server. And you have one more, Import Wizard. So Import Wizard is the one which we use it to migrate the content from one server to the other server. Which means any system has test, dev, production. So once you are done with your testing, you need to move all those reports to another business object server on your dev machine. And then from your dev machine to your production. So to migrate the content from one server to the other server, we use Import Wizard. So these are all the client-based applications what we have. Under client tier, the first layer. And the second layer is application tier. So this business objects application, at the time of installation, you can choose which web server that you want to use, Java or .NET. In order to use Java platform, you need to configure Tomcat, and you need to, in order to use .NET platform, you need to configure IIS. So this is an SDK that they use, and based on the platform that you use, you can customize your business objects application using JavaScript if you have used Java platform, or using .NET Core if you are using .NET platform. So this is a gateway between your client tile and your application tile. Under client, the interface to connect to your business object server. Once you open an info view, what you do? You provide user ID and password. That user ID and password is passed through this application tier. To pass it to the next level, that is intelligence tier. So under this intelligence tier, you have 4 different servers: central management server, cache server, file, and event server. So whatever the user ID and password that you pass it through your application tier, it's going to send it to your central management. And what central management server is going to do? It has to check whether the entered user ID password is correct or not. But how it is going to check? So this business object server, at the time of installation, it's going to create one repository. We call it as CMS repository. Repository is nothing but a database, wherein all the content, whatever that you see in your business objects enterprise, is actually coming from that repository. So you are storing all that information of your server in backend database. We call that as CMS repository. And in that repository, you have all the reports list, all the users list, passwords, everything. So in that CMS repository, this central management server, what it does is, it checks that user ID and password on your CMS repository, whether that exists or not. And once that exists, it allows you to successfully log in into business objects application. So now you log in into InfoView. Now you'll be able to see all the folders. Now what next? You're going to navigate through different folders, and you might run Crystal Report, or you might run Web Intelligence, or you might run dashboards. So running a report requires services running in the background. So after logging in, whatever that you perform on your InfoView, each and every request has to pass through central management server. That's why we call this central management server is the heart of business objects enterprise. Each and every request will be passed through central management server. And this central management server, based on the request, for example, you are running Crystal Report. So in order to run your Crystal Report, you need to send that request to the processing servers of Crystal Report related servers. If you are running Web Intelligence, you need to send that request to Web Intelligence processing servers. All that will be handled by central management server dynamically. Based on the report type that you want to view, it's going to send the request to the related servers in the background. So that is the job done by central management server. Not only that, checking user ID and password, sending the request to the related servers. The third one is checking whether you have enough access rights to do that operation. So all these jobs will be done by central management server. And you have cache server. So this cache server is nothing but whenever you refresh a report consists of a backend database connection. Now once you click on refresh, the report consists of a query which is going to run on your backend database connection and get the data and view the report content. So every time when you refresh, rather hitting the database, what it does is, whatever the result set that you are going to get it from your database is going to store in a temporary location called cache. So that at the same instance, if you again click on a refresh, it checks whether the requested data available in your cache or not. If it is available in your cache, it's not going to hit the database. It directly gets that information from your cache server to improve the performance. So cache server is nothing but a temporary storage location wherein it's going to store the information so that whenever you refresh a report, it checks whether that data available in your cache server or not. And if it is not available, it passes that request to the connection server in the background, and that connection server hits the query on your backend database connection, gets the data, then it caches the latest cache server, and then sends the output. So that is about cache server. And then we have another server, file repository server. So as I said, you can publish multiple reports into your business object server, but where they are going to store? Any idea? When you publish any report into your business object server, where those reports are going to save?
Central repository.
That's true. Actually, we have a central repository which is nothing but a database, but it used to store in central repository in the older versions of business objects, that is 6.5. But in the latest version from EXA onwards, they stopped storing all these reports into backend database. To improve the performance, if you store the reports into your database, it's going to occupy a lot of space. Now they changed an architecture in such a way that when you publish any report, it's going to store that particular report in a folder location of your business object server. And the path where it got stored, that path information is going to store in your central management repository. So whenever you open a report, it's going to invoke the specific report in the folder location of your business object server. So all the reports that you publish is not exactly storing in your CMS repository. It's going to store it in one of the folder location on your server machine, and that path is going to be stored or saved in your CMS repository. So that will be handled by file repository server. You have two folders in the installation of your business object server. If you go to installation directories, you can find two folders, input and output. So whatever you publish into your business object server, everything will be saved under input folder. And whatever that you schedule, we discussed about schedule. Schedule is nothing but you can set some time to run a report. So each and every schedule, you are going to get some static data at that particular instance of time. We call that as an instance. All those instances are going to store in output directory. So input directory is the place where we store all the published reports, and output directory is we are going to store all the schedule instances of each and every report. So that is the job done by file repository server. It maintains both the folders and related information. Now coming to the other one, event server. What is this event server? As we know that we'll be able to schedule a report from our business object server based on a time. But let's take an example. You are going to update your warehouse weekly once using an ETL. Now you have scheduled a report daily. So in a week, you are going to get 7 different report instances, but are you going to see any change in those instances? No, because you have not updated anything on your backend warehouse till 1 week. So you are going to generate the same report every day again and again. So then what is the use of schedule if there is no data change in your report? So not based on a time, you want to schedule based on an event. If any update has been made on my warehouse, then start scheduling my report, otherwise don't do it. So you can schedule the reports based on an event, and those events will be handled by event server. So that is the job done by each and every server in this particular layer, because this layer is intelligence style. Any questions on this?
No questions.
As a BO admin, as a BO developer, you need not understand the architecture, but as a BO admin, you should know the architecture, because sometimes you get a problem running a report in your InfoView. How you are going to troubleshoot it? You should check all the processing servers or related servers related to Crystal report are running or not. If you know the architecture, you know what all the processing servers that are need to be enabled, and you will check whether they are running or not. If one of them is failed, you need to enable them. So this architecture is very important for BO administrators, because as a BO, they are not going to generate any reports, they are not going to develop any reports. They are only going to manage all the content of your business object server. That's it. If any changes need to be done in a report, BO admin is going to send that report to the BO developer, and he is going to change it and send it back to BO admin. BO admin is going to publish it and place it in a specific folder. So that is about intelligence tier. So these four plays a major role in your architecture, and we don't see that from the front end, wherein from the front end, whatever the request that we give, in the back end, this is what it is going to do. And coming to the next layer, that is processing tier. All the requests have been moved from CMS. Okay, now I want to schedule Crystal report. So central management server passes that information to the related servers. So what related servers for Crystal reports to schedule? To schedule any type of report, you should have job servers enabled. To run a Crystal report on demand in the sense you're directly double clicking and opening a report. For that, you should have application servers, report application servers running in the background. So for Crystal reports, you have a job server and application server. For Desky reports, you have a job server and application server. And for web intelligence, you have report server and job server. All the report servers for on-demand processing and all the job servers for scheduling purpose. Based on a request given by the client, the CMS is going to send that request to the related servers. So other than this job server and report server, we also have page server, connection server, and destination job server. So let's talk about destination job server. What is this destination job server? We know that we have an option of scheduling a report. For that, job server need to be enabled. For example, you are scheduling a web intelligence report. For that, web intelligence job server should be running in the backend. Now, while scheduling it, not only running a report, you also need to choose where do you want to send the output. To an external email address, to a folder location, or you also have an inbox in your business objects. These are all multiple destinations. So where do you want to send that particular output? Let's say you want to send it to a specific email address as an attachment. So you cannot directly send that to a specific email address. Even in your organization, in order to send or receive mails, you need to configure Outlook. So to configure an Outlook, you need to have host, user ID, password, and domain. All this information given by network people. So get that information, configure your destination job server. Provide all this host information to your destination job server so that then only you can send the report output as an attachment to a third-party email address. So that is what destination job server is. And you have page server. What does this page server is going to do? We know that whenever we refresh a report, we are going to see the output in multiple pages, right? It might be 10 pages or 100 pages or 1000 pages based on the data what you have. Now, when you have huge data that is coming from your backend database, so what it does is, when you refresh a report, it checks that information in a cache server. cache server is going to check. If it is not available, cache server send that message to page server. Page server is going to send that message to connection server. Connection server is the one which is going to hit the backend database connection and gets the data into your page server. Now what does the page server do? Whatever the data that you get it's going to convert the data into .epf format. .epf means encrypted page format. So it's going to compress the size of your data. Something like zip. We zip the files to compress the memory. The size of a file. In the same way, page server is the one which is going to convert all the data into .epf format, and those EPF files are sent to a cache server. And from the cache, you are going to see it in your web intelligence. So that's how it processes each and every report in business objects. So under processing tier, you have all the processing related servers, and at the last layer, which is data tier, where you have all the backend database connectivities. It might be BW, SQL, ODBC, ERP, or files. So this is what the architecture of Business Objects Enterprise. Any questions? No questions? So to understand this even better, I have one link. Let me check.
Abba?
Yes?
So you did not show how to create the report though, right?
No.
No, I didn't, but we just started with architecture.
Oh, okay. So basically, these are all crystal reports. The one that
No,
you
we
showed.
have crystal reports. No, we also have web intelligence. Do you want to see webi?
Yes, if you can just quickly show if you
Sure.
have time.
To go to future examples, these are webi reports, right? I'm going to double click. Any report that you double click, output will be the same, right? The interface that you use to develop that report might be different, but output is always a format. This is webi.
So pretty much you can access any kind of reports from this front-end tool, right?
Any kind of BO related reports, yes. Okay.
So do we need to convert into BO reports and then?
Not required. You already have Business Objects Enterprise itself supports BO related tools like Web Intelligence, Crystal Reports, Resky, and Excel sheets. So Enterprise is nothing but a centralized location where you are going to distribute your reports.
Okay, thank you.
So it's something like using Crystal Reports tool. You can install Crystal Report tool on your machine and you can start generating a report. But how do you share those reports to your clients?
A report viewer.
There should be some report viewer, right?
Yes.
So report viewer is the one that we use it in .NET or Java. But here we use Business Objects Enterprise to distribute those reports through InfoView. Wherein InfoView consists of different report viewers related to each and every reporting tool that you use.
Okay. And
Because
we
for
can
the report viewer, what you need to do is you need to ask them to install report viewer and you need to send that RPT file, whatever that you generate, to their machine, right? Then only they can open that file through report viewer, they'll be able to see it. Like that, for how many users, how many times that you send those reports? Manual work. Rather doing that, what you're going to do is you're going to publish this report to a centralized location and send that URL to all the clients. They will log in and they'll see it from a centralized location.
So we can give different security levels in this?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay.
So something like that's why I said I compared it with SharePoint. SharePoint is nothing to do with developing any applications. It is just to share some data between multiple users. Same way Business Objects Enterprise. Nothing to do with anything development of your crystal reports. But you are going to distribute all those reports to different users. But yes, of course, using InfoView, you can also edit the reports of Web Intelligence. So editing options will be given to only the users who are developers, not for your clients. Here?
Yes, sir.
So that's how it works. Any questions?
Nope.
Here so far? I was just
Yeah.
looking for a link that I can explain better of an architecture. Okay, maybe I can show you in the next class then. So that's it for this demo. So I hope you like it and talk to you soon then.
Raghav,
If you have any questions, you can ask me. Yes?
are you going to teach security also, the admin security?
Not much, but I'm going to give you maybe 20 to 25% of that, because PO admin is separate huge concept. Something like, for those who are on SAP BW, in order to learn SAP basis, they have to learn separately. In the same way, I'm going to provide you where you have an option, security option, and where you can change those securities, but not in depth.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to provide how to create users, user groups, and how to change the security rights, and what all the different access levels that you have. Yes, I'm going to provide that information along with developers, because there are multiple jobs that are there in the market for BO. One is BO developer, another one is crystal report developer separately, dashboard developer separately, and BO admin. So these are all 4 different jobs that you can apply once you learn business objects. Any other questions?
No.
Thank you. Talk to you soon and have a great day.
Thank you, Raghav.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Raghu.